Okay, top of the morning, legends. Today we are going to look at my food again. But today we're going to be doing it in a different fashion than last time because I had some feedback from people and they said that they wanted to see more about my nutrition and I guess talk about it a little bit more in depth. So today I'm going to show you my breakfast, lunch and dinner and talk about them a bit more, as well as the ingredients and such and how much I use of each. Hopefully that can give you a bit more of an idea about the approach that I'm taking, at least, to nutrition, and give you a bit of an understanding of where I'm sitting with my diet, how I'm approaching my cut, and all of that fun stuff. So, without further ado, let's jump straight into brekkie, guys, because I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, for this breakfast, guys, you're going to need at least one cat, preferably plump and juicy, just like this one. I'm kidding, guys. No dim sims in my diet. Okay, so what we're going to need to start with is a scale, a food scale. Any food scale will do, as long as it goes down to the gram, which I'd assume they all do. So we're going to chuck just a standard any size platey bowl there. Set it onto 0. Now we've got some Greek yogurt, organic Greek yogurt. I'm using the Jelna pot set stuff because it's awesome. It's quite good. In terms of its contents, it's got 3.4 grams of protein per 100 gram serve, as well as 8.5 grams of fat and 4.7 grams of carbs. So it's a damn good option. So let's chuck a dollop or so of that in there. So we're going to be using 250 grams of this stuff. So let's make sure we got that on the dot. There's 160, 250. Well, that's not right because that's in pounds. Well, let's change that unit metric. Okay, that's better. So now we're cooking with gas. 170, 206, or a little bit over. Yeah, very nice. 251 is good enough for me. No, it's not. We're going to get a little bit more. Yeah, boy. Okay, so 250 grams. And then to that we add some protein. Some delicious protein powder. WPI, guys. Any WPI will do. We're going to smash 1.5 scoops in there. So that's about 45 grams of the powder. Happy with that. Next, we give it a bit of a smushy mix. Make sure it's all nicely blended. Oh, look at that. That's looking good. Nice and smooth. Okay, so after that, we then grab some granola. Okay, so what I'm using is the Zealy Bay sourdough granola. So with this one, I've gone for the pecan, can you see that there? Pecan, sesame, and coconut sugar flavor, which is actually the bomb shizzle. It's really, really good. This stuff is really good. It is all of those, come on, focus. All of those wonderful things, if you can see them there. All them wonderful things. So we add 80 grams of this stuff into the mix. Well, I'm horrible at this. Let me just do this with my hands. Why does this keep going back to pounds, you piece of shit? Or ounces. Is that pounds? Kilos. Kilos? Or grams. Okay, 40. Got to double that. 65, 72, 80 on the dot, guys. That's what we want. Quickly to mention the macros of the granola here, just in case you're wondering. Per 45 grams, it's 4.19 grams of protein, 5.85 grams of fat, and 28.89 grams of carbs. There's 8.5 grams of sugar in there and 2.5 grams of dietary fiber. So there you have it, if you were just wondering. And last but not least, for the El de Resistance, we have this wonderful bag of Elgren Organic Wild Blueberries, guys. Frozen blueberries straight from the garden. Nah, straight from the freezer. But these are pretty awesome, pretty standard. Let's chuck 40 grams in there. I assume that's about 40 grams. We'll actually do 50. There we go, 50 grams in there. Very nice. And there you have it, guys. That is my delicious, wonderful brekkie. Protein Greek yogurt with granola and wild blueberries. Nice. Time to enjoy. Oh, okay, so as to why I have this style of brekkie, guys. During my bulk, I was having a bit more of a savory breakfast, a slow-cooked pulled pork toasty every morning with good amounts of protein and yumminess. I was bulking, guys. It was all good ingredients, but I was allowed to have something a bit yummier in terms of rich. This is still rich. It's on the sweeter side, a cooler, because it's summer here, and sweeter kind of breakfast is something that I'm looking to have just because it feels good, tastes good, and is kind of what I really want to have. And in regards to the nutrients and ingredients, it's all very easily digestible for me. I find it's actually quite highly dense with nutrition. The blueberries are a fantastic little antioxidant add-on to the mix, and it tastes really, really good. The granola is a fantastic little form of carb for me. It also has pecans, which is a nice little bit of boost of fat. Yeah, overall, it's just a stock standard, really light on the stomach in terms of when I eat this, I don't feel full as shit, but I do feel very satisfied, and it hits all my nutritional markers. What those nutritional markers are for this meal are, so the Greek yogurt is 270 calories, wild blueberries 25 calories, the protein is 172 calories, and the granola is 339 calories. In total, that's an 806 calorie meal. Sounds quite large, but when you really think about three meals like that, it's only 2,400 calories. And then when I add my protein shake and my electrolyte drink, that brings me to my goal of about 2.6. So when I look at the macro breakdown of this meal, we've got 54 grams of protein, 72 grams of carbs, and 32 grams of fat. So it's a bit more of my fattier meal of the day, but still hitting a sufficient amount of protein and a good little burst of carbs for the morning. So, yeah, that leaves me at a really good set point in the morning. So there you have it, guys. That's my brekkie. Stay tuned for the lunch, which will be right now. Okay, guys, so it's lunchtime. We are going to make a mince, potato, and bolognese saucy kind of dish. So what we have here with the mince, it is the organic extra lean beef mince variety. With that, I have about, I think it's 320 grams of the mince here. That gives me about 400 calories of beef mince, which is 63 grams of protein and 15 grams of fat. So that's that. I then add it with, or cook it with the organic pasta sauce here, classic bolognese. It's just the Cole certified brand. I use 85 grams of this. There is only 1 gram of protein, 2 grams of carbs, and 2 grams of fat. So it's actually pretty lean, guys. In regards to how much calories that is, it's only 51 calories. So I only use 85 grams of it, though. So keep that in mind. And then last but not least, imagine this is just a normal potato. This is a sweet potato, yes. But I've already cooked the meal, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. It's already ready. It's just been in the microwave. I'm going to whip it out in a sec with a cheeky little click kind of transition. But I have 300 grams of potatoes. Charisma potatoes. So yeah, so if I put all that there and I do this, voila, we have a succulent lunchtime meal. So what that is, guys, that's what it looks like there. Also tossed in a little bit of frozen veg, just literally some peas and corn. And whatever, just a little bit. That's it. That is it, guys. So pretty stock standard. That is in total. Also to mention the potatoes, it's 141 calories. The meal itself is just a 600 calorie meal. If we're talking about macros, the potato here is 4 grams of protein, 28 grams of carbs, and 0 fat. So it is a good little meal a rooney. So that's it there, guys. So yeah, just potatoes, minced with a little bit of bolognese sauce and a light bit of veggies. That's lunch. So as for why I go for this kind of meal, guys, for lunch, ultimately, potatoes for me are a very enjoyable, easily digestible carb source. It's also got a bit of potassium in it, so the potassium is also great for electrolyte balancing as well if you have a fair bit of sodium in your diet. And when you're trying to chase flavor, there is going to probably be a bit of sodium that comes with that. So having something like spinach, potato, coconut water, there's actually heaps of different things that come with a solid hit of potassium, then that is good to include in your diet as a staple in some part of your diet, mainly to help balance up your potassium balance when you have a lot of sodium in there. As for how much sodium's too much, honestly, guys, that's a tough one. There's lots of studies and literature saying there's not, like, what believed was a upper limit is not really that big a deal. You know, it's like, obviously if you're not loaded in and everything tastes like you're drinking the sea, it's not going to be good for you. But if you're pretty brazen and light with your stuff, you're not overloading everything with salt, and you're not putting tomato sauce all over everything all the time and all this other kind of shit. Yeah, your sodium's going to probably be like 10 grams by the end of the day, or some crazy shit. So if you obviously just kind of are light with your things, just reasonable, then you should be absolutely fine. It's really hard for me to give you a figure too. Like I think I chase around, upwards of 3-4 grams sometimes of sodium, I think. Don't quote me on that. So yeah, this type of meal is really good. The mince lean, so it's not really too high in fat. It's really good for me to control my fat. When cooked with the bolognese sauce, which is still quite low calorie, just has a little bit of sodium for the flavoring and whatnot, then it actually goes down a treat. Very good. I'm a big texture person. If something is shithouse with the texture, I'm probably going to avoid eating it. If you give me the best sauce with some chicken that's a bit dry, I'll probably mung on it for a few seconds and be like, just over it. But if you give me just some plain chicken that's been lightly seasoned and it's cooked to perfection, nice and juicy, I'm going to smash that down. Yes, please. So texture's a big one for me. I'll mention that in dinner, which is soon, because I'll mention how I have my rice to help me get that down much easier. So yeah, mince with bolognese sauce, smidge of veg and potatoes. What was it, 600 calories, I think I said. Super nice, yummy, nutritious, awesome, great. All the wonderful words, meal. So I'm going to smash this down, guys. Catch me in a couple hours, which is going to be in a few seconds for you, for my dinner. So, bon appetit. Okay, welcome to dinner, guys. So, with dinner, I had this, it's basically leftovers from yesterday's dinner. I had a mate around, and me and, the partner, whipped up this nice, delicious dish. So it was oven-baked chicken with some veggies and stuff like that, with rice. So that's what this is here. Hopefully you guys can see that. In fact, I'm just going to tilt that down so you can have a proper look. So this is meal number 3. So you can see that there. So, and what meal number 3 consists of is 260 grams of basmati rice. There's actually about just under 300 grams of chicken tenderloin here. It's 289 grams. That's what it measured out to. And then there's also some cooked pumpkin, just over here, right in the corner. And honestly, the little bits of veg and stuff, I didn't really do much in tracking. There's pretty much no dense carbs there. It's all a lot of like cellulose kind of vegetables and, like tomatoes and zucchini and onion and capsicum and all that stuff. So very low density calorie kind of vegetables. I think this is potato here, but that's being tracked too. Random little bit of potato. So yeah. That's all being accounted for. Overall, that meal is a 790 calorie meal. When we look at the macros that are in this meal, I'm just going to look at my Gumbaru app. So I'll flick you back up here. A little bit higher just so you can see my beautiful eyes. So basically, the chicken tenderloin there at 290 grams is 58 grams of protein with 27 grams of fat. I think that's also taken into consideration the amount of oil that was used to cook it. The cooked pumpkin, which is 42 grams, not much at all, is like 2 grams of carbs, which I do wonder about that, but that's what it popped up as. It's a very low calorie vegetable. If you want to have something that gives a bit of bulk and adds a lot of flavor, pumpkin is your best friend. You chuck that in the oven and shit, it gets delicious. Now, I'm going to have to correct that. I do believe that 42 grams of pumpkin is more than 2 grams of carbs. It's surely like 10 grams of carbs at least, maybe even 15. But that's fine, that was allowed. I actually needed to get more carbs, so that works out well. And then the basmati rice is 7 grams of protein, 65 grams of carbs, and 0 fat. So that meal there is my last meal. I am also going to include a protein shake, which I haven't had yet. I'll have that probably an hour after this. I'm having this a smidge early because I've got to go do a little bit of work at the gym, just taking some photos and whatnot of a class. So with this, I'd usually eat this around 6:30, but it's 5:20 now, so 5:30 basically, a little early. So I'll have my protein shake around 7. Usually I'd have it straight after my workout around about 5, and I'd have them the other way around, because I'd recommend getting your WPI protein in first. If you're going to have this like a meal and your WPI, you're like, which one should I have first? And have your WPI. It hits you faster, it'll get in there quicker, it'll do all of its digestion. Then there'll be a bit of time gap, and then the other meal can come in. If you have this first, you're going to be riding the wave of the protein and everything that gets digested from this for potentially hours, depending on how fast your metabolism's clocking at. So, and then you want to have your shake at some point, but not wanting to leave it too late. It's best to switch it around, guys. That's how I see it. And then I also have some electrolyte powder that has a bit of carbs in it that I have, which I've accounted for. So overall, today's protein is 245, about 200, I think that's 225 grams of carbs, and 87 grams of fat, clocking in at 2,650 calories. So that's pretty good. That's where I'm aiming. Aim is to do 2.6, but 2.65 is just a-okay. So, yeah, look, rice is a great digestible meal for me, or carb, especially when it's been cooked with a little bit of bone broth. Not much, so it doesn't really spike too much of the macro and the calorie content. Bone broth being predominantly a bit of fat and salt, really. So that's been taken account for when I cook the rice and weigh it and everything. And then pumpkin, because it tastes damn awesome and it is quite nutritious and easy to digest. The cellulose-based veggies, good for foliage, flavor, and texture. And then the chicken, because, well, protein for gains. So yeah, look, there's no magical way to eat a lot of the time. It's just don't eat like an idiot. Don't eat junk food all the time. You know, everyone's different, so try foods. If you find your guts don't like something, then you just got to accept that you're just that person that food doesn't sit well with. It's not compatible. So, you know, you might have a friend that's great with lactose. You don't happen to have the lactase enzyme production to be able to deal with that anymore. That can happen with time, or it can happen literally just because you were born that way. Sometimes you've just got to accept that your body can't handle certain foods, and then cross it off the list and build a better repertoire that is suited for you when it comes to your nutrition. So as for me, I've fine-tuned mine over the years, so I've got a good idea roughly, because my gut's a hell of an enemy of mine a lot of the time if I don't. So when I'm in my off-season, I can fall victim to that, but when I'm in my on-season, it tends to be that clean foods tend to be quite good for your guts and good for digestion. You just got to learn how to cook it, prepare it, and enjoy it, really. So yeah, that's it, guys. I'm going to eat this meal. I do have to go and do that bit of work like I mentioned, so I'm going to smash this down. Hopefully that helps you guys. If there's any questions, let me know in the comment section, or however you want to reach me. But yeah, comment section is probably good, so I can help other people too if they do see your question. But yeah, hopefully that gives you a bit of understanding, insight, and just a bit of basic crap on nutrition and my diet. And yeah, ask questions, guys, and research. The more you know, the more you grow, essentially. Okay, leave me with it. I'll leave you with it. Hopefully your day's been pretty good. My rest day's been pretty good. Stay tuned for tomorrow. It is back day, I'm pretty sure. So back day and then leg day. Yeah, but should be good. So stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you next time. And always make sure you squeeze the juice. Okay, see you guys.